Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another interesting episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today in this video, we're going to see about the K6 executor function, and I'll explain you what is this constant views. So the constant views executor, what does it do in K6 and how does it help us in terms of running a load test, and also we'll see what are all the features, what are all the key features of this constant views and why we need to use K6 with constant views, and we'll also see some example use cases. I mean, this again is going to be the example use case, and also we'll see where all what are all the places where we can use the use cases. I mean, the applications basically where we can apply the constant views, and then what are the advantages of using the constant views, and also we'll see the limitations of using the constant views, and also we'll see how does the K6 stand out for this purpose. So this is going to be a more interesting video, and you will definitely understand something at the end of this video where you'll understand how to run a load test using K6. If you are looking for something like this, more videos on K6, we are going to discuss much more topics in the upcoming videos. And this is me, Rasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and if you are someone new to our channel, and give a thumbs up if you like this video. And if you have any questions or any comments, please do comment in the comment box. And yeah, let's go to the video. And before that, let me just quickly walk you through the script which I have now. This is a very basic, very sample script. So what I'm doing is I'm going to run this particular request. I'm going to hit this particular get request with 50 vusers and for 30 seconds. But the catch here is I'm going to execute using the constant view. So what is this executor? What does it do, and how does it help as in terms of running the test? So firstly, the constant views that you see here is designed to maintain a fixed number of virtual users for a specified duration. Say, for example, if you can see, we have set up the fixed number of users. This is again a load test which we run with any tool like JMeter or LoadRunner or NeoLoad, with any tool, whatever we run. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to run it for a specific duration. Say, for example, if you're going to run a load test, you can for 1 hour. You can change this to 3600 seconds for 1 hour, and like this I'm going to run this for a sample time for like 30 seconds. I'm just using this one. And also this provides a steady state load on the system under test, because again, since we're using 50 users, so this is going to maintain the steady state steady load, which makes it ideal for load testing scenarios where you want to simulate a stable number of concurrent users performing the actions. And the first part is, what is the key feature of using the constant views? Why do we need to use the constant views, and what is the first use of it? What is the first feature of it? So the first thing is the fixed concurrency. So the number of virtual users remains constant throughout the duration of the test. So they remain constant. Since we are using 50, we are not going to increase or we are not going to decrease it. It's constant, and each virtual user performs its task repeatedly and independently. And here we are calling this function, so it's going to be performing repeatedly and independently again back to back. And then it's very simple to configure. So when I say simple to configure, here you can see we are calling the function, and then the number of virtual users remains constant throughout the duration of the test, and then we have the duration. So each virtual user performs a task. It can be a get request, it can be a post request, but it happens repeatedly and independently. And but again, the time period, so the time period for which the virtual users will be active. So we know what we are going to do, how many users we are going to test, and what is the duration of the test. So that's very simple. I mean, the configuration is very simple in terms of configuring the executor. And the third feature is the consistency. So the constant views guarantee a steady load on the system, which is ideal for observing the performance trends over time. And we all know, whenever we are running a test with JMeter or NeoLoad or LoadRunner, we do you maintain the constant load, a steady load, right? So for that, this particular the constant views will help us, because we are maintaining the steady load on the system. And then why do we need to use K6 with constant views? So far we know what are the features, but now we'll see why do we need to use. So the first thing is load testing for steady state scenarios. So we can simulate consistent traffic patterns. For example, if your application typically handles 100 concurrent users during business hours, you can simulate that load with the constant views. Say, for example, if I want to run this with if you think, or if your application typically handles like 1000, even 1000 users, you can very well add this 1000 as the user load, and then you can run the test. And if it is handling 100, yes, you can very well use that, and you can run that test for like 1 hour. So you can measure this system performance metrics. For example, when you are doing a load test, what is our objective? So our objective is to our objective is to measure the response times. Our objective is to measure the throughput, which is the request per second, and we are also going to measure the error rates under constant load. So these are the metrics which we are going to calculate when we are running the constant view. So that is another reason. And then identifying the bottleneck. So again, when you're running a load test, what do we do? What is our objective behind that? So when the system operates under a constant number of concurrent users, we can observe for any degradation in performance, which is increasing the response times over the test duration, which can indicate the resource exhaustion, the CPU, the memory. And it also helps us to uncover issues like memory leaks or database connection saturation. And then the third why is validating the scalability. So if your application can handle a constant load of 100 users, so for example, like if I'm running this test for 100 users, and if my application is able to handle this 100 users for an hour, I can scale, or I might scale 200 virtual users or more to test how well the application scales under increased load. So I get an idea, or I get a log that, okay, my system can handle 100 users now, so I can now scale it to the next level. And also you can do a baseline steady state, baseline testing using the steady state performance before conducting the stress spike. So you know that your application can handle 100 users. So now you are ready to increase, or now you can handle the stress or the spike test. And the fourth why is you can measure the stability and the reliability. So when I say stability and reliability, you can ensure the system behaves predictably over time. And also you can monitor how consistent the response times and throughput are during the entire test duration. So that is where you're going to measure the stability and reliability. And here we have a very simple example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the HTTP library, and then I have set up my options for the scenario. So I have got the executor, the Constant-VUs, the execution of this function, the contacts, and then the views is 100, and the duration is like for 30 seconds. So I'm going to run this test. And what are the situations you can use this? So you can very well use this in API load testing, because you can set the load, right? And then you can also use this for web application testing as well. So let's now run a quick test. So let me open the PowerShell window and do k6 space run, and the file name is Constant-VUs Example.js, and then let me run. And meanwhile, while it is running, I'll take you through the advantages. So it is very easy to use. So as we see here, the configuration, the configuration is very simple with just two key parameters, the virtual users and the duration. So it's very simple, and there are no complex logics which are needed to manage the iterations or user ramp up. So it's again very simple. And the next part is the realistic simulation. So you can reflect the real world scenario where we can test the application with a fixed number of users who interact with the system, and then we can do the baseline performance testing where we can establish a baseline for comparison when we introduce code changes or optimizing the infrastructure. But also we can detect gradual degradation. So when you are running a test with a constant load, it can expose issues like memory leaks, the thread exhaustion, or database bottleneck. So in fact, we have discussed about what is a memory leak and how to fix the memory leaks, and what is thread exhaustion or what is the database bottlenecks. We have discussed all these in our other videos. So if you want to check my other videos, please do check that as well. And coming back to the PowerShell, now the test is completed, and we have got the expected the KPIs, the key performance indicators, like the data received, the data sent, the number of maximum users we have used for testing, and then we can also see the response times and everything, the average, minimum, maximum, and all the response times. So after now we can see that we can the configuration is very simple. We can run a load test with the steady state. So what are the limitations, right? Any function or any options will also have its own set of limitations. Yes. So the first thing is we lacking traffic variation. So the traffic in real world application will often fluctuate, right? It's not very steady. We can see peak, we can see off peak hours. So Constant-VUs does not simulate such variations. Yes, we do understand that because it's constant. So yes, obviously it will not simulate such variations. And for traffic spikes, we might use the ramping views or ramping arrival rate executors. Yes, we have to use them to do the traffic spikes. And this constant views is not suitable for all tests. So when I say not suitable for all tests, it does not simulate user lifecycle. For example, login, the browsing, the logout in a realistic sequence, unless it is manually scripted. So this is how the constant views. I mean, like, again, I would say these are not a very major drawbacks, but still, yes, these are the things that we have to understand so that we can very well plan and use this constant views. And then when it comes to the what are the particular point which makes the constant views outstanding. So the first thing is performance. So K6 is a very lightweight, as we all know, and it is optimized for high performance testing, and it is capable of simulating thousands of virtual users with minimal resource overhead. So by using very minimal resource, we can run a huge optic performance testing, and then it's very simple. So we can use simple syntax, and we can use the built-in executors which allow for very quick setup of steady-state loader. So if you're asked to run a quick test, you can very well use this because it's very simple to set up. And then when it comes to the metrics collection, yes, we can capture the detailed metrics like response times, the error rates, the request throughput during the test, and also we can integrate with monitoring tools like Grafana for real-time visualization. So with that, I come to an end, and let me just quickly summarize. So the constant views that we see here, the executor, so it's a cornerstone of load testing in K6, and that is used to simulate a constant load. So as it's very clear, it's constant view, so obviously it's going to simulate a constant user load for a given duration, and it is perfect for scenarios where you need to run a consistent traffic patterns, baseline for system performance, and insights into stability and reliability under a steady load. So in our next video, we'll see much more. I mean, we'll see another type of executor, and that's going to be more interesting. So until I meet you in our next video, it's bye-bye from Sunshine Mugam and your favorite Little Star YouTube channel. Take care and bye-bye.